Hello everyone and welcome back. My name is Michael Conti and today we're going to be talking about Sakai. So in the previous video we talked about eCampus and some of the features that eCampus has to offer. So if you haven't seen that, please go check it out. But right now let's focus on Sakai. So again, starting in Google Chrome or whatever browser of your choice, we're going to go back to the uri.edu website. Again, we're going to be interested in this U dropdown, and we're looking at students. And we want to access Sakai. Now, after you access Sakai 1,000 times, you will feel more comfortable with just typing in sakai.uri.edu. And I often do that because it's just quicker for me to get there this way. But you can do either or. So you can go through the URI main website, or again you can do sakai.uri.edu. So your username and password, mine is my email without any underscores, and obviously removing the @ and everything to the right of that. Now I do have a custom password, but I'm not sure what the default password is. It's either going to be your 8-digit birthday, or it's going to be your student ID. But if you don't have that, no problem at all. Just give the URI help desk a call or give them a visit at the library. They're at the basement, so the bottom floor. So Sakai is interesting because it's going to be a little bit tailor fitted to every individual student depending on what courses they're taking that semester. But this is what mine looks like right now. So I'm teaching, or at least I'm instructing, I'm TAing CSE 106 for this semester. I have taught it in the past, but that's why I have these 106 courses in my main tray. So just to take a look, we see this home button is highlighted here. So right now we're in our main view. So all of these announcements are accessible from all of your classes. So if you have several different classes, all of the announcements for all of your classes are going to be here. So there's just some basic information, welcome to Sakai, workshops, trainings, things like that, upcoming maintenance, known issues. So there is a lot of information here. I don't think I've ever spent the time to read all this stuff because I usually jump right into the course that I'm interested in. But before we take a look at an individual course just as a demo, let's just expand this waffle menu here, the sites view. And we can see that for the fall 2018, these classes are checked. So because these are starred here, they show up automatically right here. So often I see that we have students who don't have any checked sites, and they're under the impression, I don't have anything for Sakai, I guess my teachers don't like it. That's usually not the case. Most classes do have a Sakai site. Unfortunately, URI 101 doesn't, but other classes do. And you can access those Sakai sites for those classes by clicking this Sites menu and either clicking on this button, which will take you to the class Sakai site, or starring it so you can access them quickly. You can also grab a full semester here, maybe a summer here, any semester that you're interested in viewing. Okay, hopefully that didn't save, but it looks like it might have. So I've got lots of classes here. So let me just deselect all that. Okay, great. So that's just a quick tip on how to get all of your active classes on your just immediate toolbar here. But if you are interested in what Sakai is going to look like for, sorry about that. So if you're interested in seeing all of the different classes that you have taken in the past after you've had a couple of semesters here at URI, you can click View All Sites. So I've got 48 Sakai courses. Obviously I've taken some courses here at URI. And you can see that they're all listed here, which is really nice to see. So if you ever want to go back and take a look at something, or maybe you're interested in something like that, you can always access all the work that you did in the past there. Now keep in mind, Sakai, once you do leave the university, I believe you have 2 or 3 months to get anything you want off of Sakai. So if you aren't interested, or you have a sentimental connection to some either an essay that you wrote or some really good work that you did, make sure you grab it off of Sakai and save it locally on your machine, on your Google Drive or something like that. So I'm gonna go back home, and not here. I want to be an overview. Okay, so I'm back at home, and let's say I'm interested in taking a look at my profile. So if you click your profile, this information, you can change the picture of your Sakai, so that's what mine looks like. If I post on a forum on Sakai, like you'll see in a little bit, this is what other students can see. So usually there's a picture here if you, of your face, a profile, or if you have a LinkedIn picture, something like that. I picked the URI thing just because that was the best picture I had at the moment. I should update that though. But any personal information that you have, make sure you can update it here. And then if you're big into updating your calendar, I'm a Google Calendar person, so that's what I maintain. But if you are interested in managing this calendar software, you're more than welcome to do so. And then we have resources, announcements, preferences. Let's see if there's anything in. Okay, so yeah, so this is some preferences that you can take a look at, but this is going to be related to your Sakai site in general. So if you want an email every time a new announcement is made, or something like that, then this is where you would set that. But let's jump in CSE 106 just because that's what I have here for this semester for you guys. And I'm going to view it as a student. So this is what's the student CSE 106. I'm sorry, I think I said URI 101. This is what the CSE 106 students see when they go onto their Sakai site. So there's right off the bat, there's a lot of information getting help in CSE 106. Now I want the secret word that I've been talking about this whole time. The secret word is going to be headphones. Okay, so when I asked what the secret word was for the video lectures, headphones is going to be the secret word. Great, thanks. So moving on, every Sakai site is different based on how the instructor sets that Sakai site up. So the instructor for this course is Dr. Feowulf, and this is typically how his classes are set up. So usually there's an announcements tab, so if there's any announcement that you're interested in or that the instructor wants you to know, this is a great place to read that announcement. Okay, syllabus is always something that I highly recommend that you visit. And again, this is a tab that's typically on most Sakai sites. It's either here or in resources. There's a folder here that's resources that some instructors put the syllabus in here, but there's a dedicated tab. So you can access the course syllabus right here. So like I said on the first day of class, the syllabus is kind of the contract between you and the instructor. So it's really important to know all of the expectations that are laid out in the syllabus. So this lessons tab is specific to CSE 106, and this is where kind of course objectives, materials, and the assignments are found. But this will not always be necessarily in all Sakai sites. Dr. Feowulf found that it was useful to have a lessons tab, so he implemented that. I'm a huge fan of the forums tab. And this is used often in CSE 106. I have had classes, when I taught a summer class for computers, actually forensics 102, this forum reached around 750 to 800 messages in 2 or 3 months. So there was a very active forum posting by teachers and students alike. So again, this might be specific to CSE 106, but if you are a student in CSE 106, like I know some of you are, this is where you're going to access, Students can post a question, and it gives the opportunity of the teaching staff or other students to answer. Sometimes you'll see student help hours where you can get help from teaching staff, the TAs, and it's a really good place to meet up with them if you have a question on an assignment or homework. And sometimes there's course frequently asked questions. Unfortunately, these are again specific to CC 106, but you're usually always going to see this overview, announcements, syllabus, and assignments and quizzes and gradebook tab right here. So assignments are assignments that you you can view what the assignment is expecting, look at the instructions. I might be going quickly, sorry about that. So let's go back one more time. So when you click the assignments tab, you're presented with all of the assignments that that course has. So starting with the assignment title, this is a really good way to see when the assignment was opened and when it's due. Specifically, this due column is something that you really want to keep a close eye on because more often than not, an instructor is not going to accept an assignment that's late. And if they do, you can guarantee that points are going to be taken off. So really important when you're either looking at your Google Calendar to make sure that that you have enough time to complete the assignments. The best way to do that is to see when the assignment's due, and then to just preview the assignment to see how much work you think that's going to take. If you think this assignment might take you 2 or 3 days, then give yourself 4 days from the due date to kind of work on that assignment. So this is how most assignments are submitted in the University of Rhode Island. I mean, some instructors might prefer that you hand in a paper copy, but I've really have seen faculty and staff move away from that. So usually it's going to be either a PDF or Word document, or you can just submit text in this text box, and then you can submit that assignment to your instructor. So you have to be careful based on this number of resubmissions. Now, I know Dr. Faywolf has an unlimited amount here, so that means you can submit an assignment and then submit it several times. That doesn't mean this is always the case in all classes. Usually, this will only be 1 or 2. So if you submit, you will only have one more opportunity to submit that assignment until that assignment is locked in. Okay, so keep an eye on that number of resubmissions. It's also important to note that when you do resubmit an assignment in Sakai, unfortunately, Sakai records the time and date of that most recent submission. So, for example, let's say I submitted an assignment on September 10th. The assignment's due on September 11th, so I'm all set. But I noticed that I forgot a specific part or problem in the assignment. A couple days pass and I submit the second finished assignment on September 13th. Sakai is going to record that Michael Conti submitted an assignment on September 13th. Faculty and staff are going to look at that and say that assignment was late, and they're not going to know, they have no way of knowing that the first assignment that you submitted on time was before the deadline. So just something to keep in mind. Sometimes it's better to lose a couple of points than maybe get a 0 on the assignment because you submitted late. So that's a little insider tip I think that you should just keep in mind moving forward in some of your other classes. Okay, so let's see here. Quizzes. This CSC 106 is a flipped classroom model, so they do a lot of quizzes and assessments at home. I want to make sure, okay, so I am in student view. And gradebook is where you can see course grades for the semester. I have nothing here because I'm not a CSC 106 student, but usually you'll see this assignment and the grade. The quiz, so these two entries here are quizzes, and then you'd have the grade for that quiz, and then the assignments. Usually there's a weight to say, okay, all of the quizzes are worth 20%, all of the assignments are worth 40%, but that's not showing up here. But if you want to see your status or how you're doing in a specific class, visiting the gradebook tab is great. Okay, so I think that wraps it up for Sakai. Again, just like eCampus, I didn't go through all of the features that Sakai has to offer, but I think this is a really strong introduction into how you should navigate Sakai. So making sure that all of your sites are checked is the best way to start this off, and then individually going into each course and becoming familiar with the setup that the teacher has for their Sakai site is really a good way to get a good idea of what's due when, what are the expectations of the class, and where can I go for extra help. So that's all for now. I hope that was helpful. See you next time, guys.